Hi, I am Julia Freeman. I am the board chair at St. Paul Youth Services, and I am here with my fellow board directors to ask you one question. Are you serious about investing in Black youth? I hope you are, because that's why we invited you today. Now, I want you to know what we're going to do together today. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about, tell you more about who St. Paul Youth Services is. We're going to introduce you to an amazing group of youth from Youth Power who will share some amazing stuff. And then we invite you to act and share the impact of your investment. So I'm excited. So I wanted to share a story with you about how I became on the board and invested in, and I like to say, a youth champion of St. Paul Youth Services. And I first met Tracine when she was on the school board of Minneapolis Public Schools. And I'm the director of community engagement at Voices for Racial Justice. And we engaged Minneapolis Public Schools a lot around the dismantling the school to prison pipeline, which was very important for my organization. And when Tracine went to St. Paul Youth Services, she asked me to meet her. And when I met her, she told me about her vision she had for the organization and for Black youth. And I was super excited. And I joined the board. So I've been on the board now 5 years. And I first was blown away by Youth Power when I went to a celebration. And the youth had all these stations, and I visited the stations, and they spoke loud and proud about what they learned in the program, the things that they had achieved, and how they challenged some systems. And so I was super proud. And I don't want to take away their thunder and tell you, so I'm going to let them share themselves. But I was absolutely, totally blown away. And that is one of the reasons I've been on the board so long, and I am truly a youth champion, and I hope that you become one as well. So I want to tell you a little bit about our mission and our vision, which is here, which is really simple. It is to, a quick example is to, God, left my space. Well, what it says here is to basically we improve the community's collective ability to engage and support all youth through proven and pioneering practices. Also, these are our values, and some of the values that I just want to highlight tonight is very important to us as a board as we govern the organization is to recognize that youth work is skill work, increase racial equity and inclusion, and promote high expectations with high support. Great. So our approach is basically smart, fair, and loving at St. Paul Youth Services. It is smart, fair, and loving is our approach. Are you serious about justice for Black youth? So we are going to we are going to call on someone who does and is serious about justice for Black youth. She's a fellow board member. She's the secretary of the board. And Rosette, would you like to introduce yourself some more?
Yeah, thank you so much, Julia, for that wonderful introduction. My name is Rosette Ship Chandler, and I am the board secretary for St. Paul Youth Services. And like Julia, I want to share a story with you. Several years ago, I used to work at a local foundation, and Tracine, the director of youth services, called me to talk about the concept for youth power. And I was just so excited because, central to that concept was the model of kids changing systems rather than systems changing kids. So I too had a great experience later on at a youth power event. I got to talk to some amazing youth, and I learned that I had actually authorized the program's first grant. And later I joined the board, and I began to give personally to St. Paul Youth Services. I just encourage you to invest in Black youth. You can donate today or tomorrow or recurring if you go to SPYS.org, SPYS.org. You can also mail a donation to St. Paul Youth Services on Wilson Avenue. I have personally worked to try to create a racially equitable community, and I know that we can't do that without investing in Black youth, and I encourage you to invest as well. Thank you, and I'm going to turn it back over to you, Julia.
Thank you, Rosette. So that is so amazing. And I think that it's important for you to hear directly from youth once again. So this is a way that you can also invest by looking at this video called Hidden Figures.
I feel amazing. I feel better about myself, knowing the great things that my ancestors have done, knowing the great things that somebody who I could be related to have done. They make me feel like I can do those things. They make me feel like I can be the better person than I even see myself being in the future.
We are tired.
We are tired of being beat by policemen. We are tired of seeing our people locked up in jail over and over again. And you holler, be patient.
How long can we be patient? We want our freedom and we want it now.
Wow, that was powerful. Wow, that was so powerful. Black youth. Oh, I just gives me chills. They're so amazing. So after 45 years of disrupting the pipeline, St. Paul Youth Services Youth Power Program is dismantling it. That is the work of Youth Power Services Program. And their motto, which is something I say every time I talk about the program, is kids changing systems versus systems changing kids. I hope that stays in your head tonight while you're sleeping. Kids changing systems versus systems changing kids. It's beautiful. And Youth Power is absolutely amazing. And I don't want to take too much time. And I am going to turn it over to my fellow board member, Tim.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself. Yes, go ahead, Tim.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Leeser, and I'm the board vice chair for St. Paul Youth Services. And I have the distinct privilege of asking our youth panel the first question. Panel, are you ready? Why was it important for you to be a part of Youth Power?
Hi, I'm Jemiah Cusick. I am 15,
and I go to Washington Tech. I started Youth Power and then in 2018. And something I'm passionate about is learning, but my favorite thing to learn is math, and my favorite type of math is geometry because it was easy. It was really easy for me to grasp and learn about.
Wow, good for you. Other panelists, would you like to add to that conversation?
Hi, my name is Dane. I'm 17. I go to Washington Tech. I started Youth Power in 2018. I am passionate about my business. I make lip gloss and I want to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like one day my business will be big and get lots of orders and support.
That is wonderful. You are wanting to be an entrepreneur and you have a lip gloss business.
Yes.
Do you offer male colors too? Male, female color? I've never worn it, but I'd be interested. I'll check your business out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Elias Henry. I'm 17 years old, and I go to school at Harding High School. I started Youth Power in 2018, and I'm excited to graduate high school this year and attend college next fall. One of the colleges that's on my list is Bethune-Cookman University to apply to.
Wow. That is awesome. Awesome. Can you tell me, I heard something about the hub. And for myself, but also for everyone that's joining in tonight, can you tell us about the hub and what makes that such a collaborative space?
Um, the hub is a safe space that's at Youth Power, and it gives like say like when we go in there, we can talk about whatever we want, and nobody can like go out and tell people like what we said. We talk about school, and we don't get to talk about school a lot at school because teachers give us like a lot of work. They don't really ask about like our day or how we're feeling. So when we get in the hub, it's like a safe space for us to just be ourselves. It's also a safe space because we get to put our work up in there, and like we do a lot of work and hanging on the wall. So when we walk in, we see all the work that we put up. And yeah, we do check-ins to like make sure everybody's feeling like they want to like talk and be there, make sure they're feeling up and not down. And yeah.
Bet you're missing this. I bet you're missing that space right now.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Adding on to what Deja May said, a rule we have for the hub is what's said in the hub stays in the hub. So like whatever you say in the hub is safe with everyone else who's in there, which makes everyone feel comfortable in that environment. And also we decorate the hub into making it everyone feel comfortable so that everyone is welcome there.
It's I think it's important for everyone to have a safe space where they can be themselves, they can share whatever they're feeling. And it sounds like you guys really feel it. I'm really happy for you. I hope that you're able to get the hub back soon. Can you tell me, what was your initial experience at Youth Power? What was it like? I mean, what was your initial experience?
Me personally, just like being there, it gave like a good feeling just to know like I had people listening to me and caring about what I was saying.
That's important. Other panelists, would you like to share the same question?
For me,
what was your initial experience?
My initial experience was being able to have adults listen to youth on us wanting to change systems.
What about you, Jemiah?
My initial experience was like we're all listening to each other, and it's like a safe space to be in because we get to meet new people like us, and experience new things all the time. We're always going on different field trips and learning about different things. And I feel like it was easy for us to talk to each other because we can relate to each other and we all have similarities, and we like made friends with each other because the hub was such like a safe space for us to share and relate.
Adding on to what Jemiah said, so like when we first started Youth Power, we were all new. So like everyone was quiet, shy. But then we did like icebreakers and stuff to like get along with each other, learn each other's names. And like from there we like also like presented together, which made us more comfortable with each other, because when we presented together we were very strong and passionate. So like now like we are like very like talkative, laughing, joking around and stuff. And like it makes us like feel comfortable with each other.
Well, that's great.
Adding on to what Jemiah and Elias said, um, just like knowing that there's youth out there like you that wants to be your friend and like make you feel welcome, because at school there's not really like black youth at my school. So it was like a good opportunity to just make friends and feel welcome.
That's great. Panel, how has youth power impacted you long term?
Youth Power impacted me long term because at Youth Power we get to learn more history about ourselves. So in these pictures, so on the left side, there's me with the yellow hoodie, and then my friend Japri is part of Youth Power too, Charles too. We were at an event with Youth Power, and like as you can see, those people dancing right there. It was an event. So like the first part was like music and hip hop and like poetry, and like they were like teaching us how like the culture and like how like you can use that to express your words and how you're feeling and like history. And then the second part was dancing, and like they used dancing and hip hop and ballet and crump to express how they're feeling and like emotions, and it was just like powerful. Like I it made me like look at it from a different view. So after we went to that, the next day we were invited to have a dance session in the studio, as you can see in the picture below and the picture on the far right. We had a dance session. The first part was hip hop, and then the second part was crump. Knowing me, like I'm not really a dancer, like I can't dance that good, but like it was still a fun opportunity, and I got to learn some moves, and like they taught us some moves in hip hop, they taught us some moves in crump, and they taught us that like crump is like a way you express yourself, like it can be like powerful. Like they taught us like it was this one move, it's like you step and like you pump your chest out. That was like the first move they taught us. And then at the end we had like a dance in a circle, and it was actually fun. I went up and danced in a circle, and everyone was just cheering and clapping. It was a really great experience to be able to have.
Elias, I hope they capture that on video. I'd really like to see that.
I think there is,
Is there?
maybe,
I
yeah.
have to look. Dejanay, how about you or Jemiah? Long term.
Um, yeah, adding on to what Elias said, this experience, I did not know how to dance. I did not know nothing about like crump. So for me to even like try, it was getting me like out my comfort zone, because like I'm always in the house doing nothing. So I just felt like this was a good experience. I would want to do again, because I had fun that day just to see like all the other youth dancing too. So I know I wasn't like a beginner by myself, but all the other youth was out there doing it too. So it was really fun.
Jemiah, anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with Deja. We were like kind of all in the back at first, and then we kind of like started getting a little bit more loose and like trying to like figure out the music and stuff. So it was a really fun experience, and we were all kind of shy at first, but at the end, we were like trying to really get into it.
Well, maybe Dr. Ansbury can line up a day when we actually get to have a board meeting at the office, and you can teach us some crump. You can off crump. I'm going to turn the questions, and thank you, panel. I'm going to turn the questions over to Nicole English, one of our other board members.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm Nicole English, and I am St. Paul Youth Services Board Director. And I have the pleasure of talking with the panelists with our second question of the evening, which is very important for me. So, good answers, everybody, but I know you guys will. The question is, what are some examples of how Youth Power Minnesota has changed or attempted to change systems that impact Black youth?
One way Youth Power has changed systems was we went to the St. Paul Public School Board and we went in the building and some youth went up and they talked about like their experience at school. We said we wanted more Black teachers. We said we needed like, instead of sitting in kids' homes, like have a place that they can go to and talk about like how they feel and go back to school instead of sending them home and they're not getting like all the education they need. Kind of like cutting their education off just because of like one little like incident that happened, because most of the time it's not really like a big thing that happened and students will get sent out or get sent home. And I don't think that's fair because it's mostly like Black youth that happens to. And afterwards we went outside and we were just like taking a video on what we said. And we also showed one of our videos to the school board and it was really fun experience. And the superintendent, yeah, in this picture, he took a picture with us. We got to meet him and talk to
him. Wow, okay. Anyone else?
Adding on to what Dejanay said, so like we were able to stand up and talk to the school board and the St. Paul superintendent, and we were able to get rid of SROs, student resource officers. And I feel like that was important and powerful because of what's going on in the environment right now. Like as students, I don't feel like that's the like good. I mean, we don't feel safe because like, especially in like our state, Minneapolis, like what's going on in that city. So like being able to not have those in school makes us feel more safe.
Jemiah?
Yeah, I agree with Elias. Just not having like the police officers in the school made it like more safe and kids felt like safer walking in the hallways and stuff.
That's awesome. So you made some change there at the school board level. Is there any other example that you can think of? No.
Another way that we at Youth Power MN attempted to change systems is we went to a canoe building program that was through the Como Zoo, and it was for 2 weeks. And during them 2 weeks, we learned how to build a canoe and we learned how to canoe on the lake. And we learned the different parts of the canoes. And we also like did projects. And one of the projects we were trying to figure out if the lake that we were canoeing on was healthy or not. And I feel like this was an attempt to change systems because you don't see a lot of Black youth like going out of their comfort zones and doing something different, or like learning how to canoe and stuff, and like just trying to do something new.
I like that example, Jemiah, because I think it's important to identify that even just you all having the opportunity to be able to experience things that you wouldn't normally experience is changing systems in a way in which it's giving you all, our Black youth, an opportunity to now engage in and maybe now show other people, right? Show other people that look like you something new they haven't seen. And, that just kind of trickles down to everybody that you talk to or that person talks to. And now we're showing a host of Black youth something new, right? Something different to get into.
I agree with what you're saying because like it was in the summertime and like I feel like this is a good opportunity instead of like staying home in the summer or like not having anything to do. Instead, we were being active hiking, being able to see all the animals at the Minnesota Zoo, and being able to canoe. And like an experience I had at the when we were canoeing is my second day of canoeing. I fell over and fell into the lake because we were like playing around and trying to splash another canoe. And so like that was like a terrifying moment for me, but I still made it safe. And after that, like we were just more cautious, me and my canoe partner, and like we still had fun. We were able to learn if the lake was healthy or not by checking the water, seeing if there were fish in there, if like there was like seaweed, and
Did
like
you fall into
we
a
had like this
toxic lake, or was your
nothing
lake healthy?
if the lake was healthy.
The one you fell into, was it healthy or toxic?
It was healthy.
Okay.
It was just scary though.
Good, that's good. One last thing, any fun or really good takeaways that you've had from, well, you just gave me a good fun one. But any other takeaways from your experiences?
We also built a boat, so that was a good experience because I had no idea how we were gonna build it. Like I didn't know like the step-to-step process, but we did it in like 2 weeks, I believe so. Yeah, so that's very fast, and our boat ran very well, and it was very strong.
All right. Anything else from you young ladies? No? All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And I will transition over to Dominique.
Thank you, Sister Nicole. I'm Dominic Gilman, the treasurer. It's great to hear from the queens and the kings about you changing systems and versus systems trying to change you. So why should we invest in youth powers? Why should we invest in Black youth? Why should we invest in you? That's my question.
So before the pandemic happened, we used to go to Youth Power. So one way that would have helped was transportation. If you can see in that picture, we're on the bus. We're either going to like a field trip. The bus takes us home and to Youth Power. So that will be a way to help out. We also go on field trips. Like in this picture, we were on a yoga field trip, and um, it was fun. I never did yoga before, so it was really fun and different. And in the last picture, it's you can see people's like getting food. We get food catered at like our events that we have. Our parents come and some board members come. Everybody comes to see our work. So for us to like have food for them to eat and stuff is important. Another way now, since we're virtual, you can donate for computers, hotspot, Wi-Fi, stuff like that will really help out for youth to come to Youth Power and make a change with us.
Adding on to what Dejanay said, before the pandemic, we had transportation. There were some youth members who lived in Minneapolis, so being able to be funded to have bus cards was very helpful, so that they can get to and from Youth Power, and being able to have a safe transportation. And also, being able to be funded, we were able to get food while we had our sessions. Like we had like fruits and like water. We had frozen foods too. We had fruit snacks. Those were very helpful too.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to share?
Another reason why people should financially support Youth Power MN is because you would be investing in Black youth, and that would be us. And like we're trying to make a change and make new experiences and just try to make a difference in our community. So when you financially support Youth Power MN, you will be supporting us.
Thank you. Anything else you want to share?
Being able to invest in Black youth will contribute to our legacy. Like if you can see in like this first picture to the far left, this was the very beginning of Youth Power, and then the middle picture was like the middle of Youth Power, like when the females got added to the session, but it was like boys and girls separate. And then on the far right is us together. We started working together in our sessions, and being able to go from like a group of like probably like 8 in total to like a bunch of us building a canoe is it's like a big legacy. And like being able to keep that going and like being like role models for younger youth to come and do the same stuff that we do and changing the environment and the community. And like it'll be like a important achievement for us. And also like being able to fund Youth Power helped out with like clothing too. Like for Youth Power, we started with like gray shirts, and then we had black shirts after a while, and then now we have Youth Power hoodies too, and they came in handy because like during the fall and winter time in Minnesota it could be really cold. So being able to have hoodies to get to wear while we go to our Youth Power sessions in the fall and winter was very convenient.
Thank you.
So we this summer we had a virtual Youth Power session because of the pandemic. So we were working on changing systems through social media. So we have an Instagram page we'll be launching on Thursday, October 29th. And below are some of our canvas. Here is me, Dejanay, and Jemiah's canvas. This is just like the front page of our canvas, but if you go to our Instagram page on Thursday, you'll be able to view our work.
Thank you. To keep it real, I wish I had these programs when I was a Black youth, as a Black male, and I'm an educator in the metro area. Students are not learning their history, their true history, these true stories of what's happening, so I'm glad that we have these programs to support our students, to debunk this very Eurocentric education that our students are receiving and not giving multiple perspectives. So I think youth partners are doing a great job of doing that. That's a great reason to donate and invest into our Black youth if you're really about donating to Black youth. And also getting our youth there is a great way to donate, because get our youth to there. We got kids from Minneapolis and St. Paul getting to St. Paul Youth Service to really learn about themselves and really develop their leadership potential and things they're already bringing, and to change systems and not having systems to change them. So I'm gonna pass it on to Julia, back to our board chair.
Thank you, Dominique. I'm so excited. I think I'm gonna have to get some more Youth Power swag. I didn't know about the hoodie, so I'm gonna have to purchase a hoodie or something. So at St. Paul Youth Services, our board directors are 100% givers, and we would love to invite you tonight to invest in Black youth unapologetically. And these next two slides that you're going to see is going to just talk about a little bit of where your money go and how you can invest in your money. So we have slides, for examples, what you get for 10, 25, 50, $200, $5,000, and how it could support. So you heard directly from some of the youth that said it'd be good to have this, it'd be good to have some more equipment, during this pandemic, and different things around transportation. So this will let you know where your dollars are going. And you heard from the youth that there's a need. So please invest in Black youth. So, but the real investment, let's talk about the real investment. You actually heard from the real investment from the youth. And that's real life. When you heard personally responses from Dejanay, from Elias, and from Jemiah, the youth panel, that's what it's all about. That's where those, you put some dollar signs over their heads if you want to, but that real life experience and youth power, that's what it's all about. This is another reason why St. Paul Youth Services invests in youth power program. This is why. And so I want to have you see this video that's coming up that is called Hidden Figures. It's very powerful. Enjoy.
Said that was dash cam video of 28-year-old Sandra Bland's arrest during a traffic stop on July 10th. 3 days after that traffic stop, Bland was dead and killed. Ferguson.
There's like this fight between courage and fear, and sometimes we choose fear to protect ourselves. When I dare to be powerful,
when I dare to be powerful,
use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid.
Then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid.
When I dare to be powerful,
when I dare to be powerful,
when I dare to be powerful.
So that was amazing. I love that video. I'm going to turn it over to my board director, Tim.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight to support St. Paul Youth Services and our Black youth. I just want to share a little bit about how I became involved with St. Paul Youth Services. I recently retired last year after almost 40 years in working in the nonprofit world. The majority of those years were working with youth and family services. And many of those years were in leadership roles. With the last 4 years, I was executive director for youth and family services in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And after I retired to come back to Minnesota to be closer to my children and grandchildren, I was aware that I wasn't quite done yet. You know, the nonprofit world was still in my blood. And Minnesota having a great amount of nonprofits, it was sort of like, wow, where do you start? So I started doing research and did my homework, and I'd always been driven by the power of helping youth, providing hope for today and for tomorrow. So I really narrowed it down to youth, you know, driven services. And again, there's many of those in the metro area. And I ran across St. Paul Youth Services and, you know, read their website, read their mission, read that they were youth centric. And I thought, well, yeah, you know, all good nonprofits are going to say they're youth centric. To say otherwise is sort of a nail in your coffin. I had learned that for years, you know, that you really needed to be youth centric and, you know, client focused and driven by that. So I thought, well, you know, what the heck? I'm going to check this out. So I connected with Dr. Ansbury, and you know, she invited me, you know, to get together with her, and we had a wonderful conversation. And I think, you know, the true sign of an organization and its health is that it backs up its word. And I was really energized by Tracy's passion for her work, for the youth that St. Paul Youth Services works with, for the community, for the hope of the community. Because I was really running into a lot of hopelessness in regards to equity, in regards to being able to move the needle forward. And Tracy really had that spark of hope, and the organization had that feel to it. And one of the first times I was there, I had an opportunity to meet them, you know, the youth that were in the program at that point in time. And it was just an awe-inspiring. These were young Black youth that were proud, and they were proud to be in that program. You know, in many of my years in the nonprofit world, I experienced agencies that were limited in their philosophy and in their ability to deliver services because of insurance companies, because of government contracts, because the money that the nonprofits were being, you know, paid was coming from diagnostic assessments that were driven based on, you know, problems. And SPYS, St. Paul Youth Services, you know, had the audacity to rewrite the rules. Now, a lot of people have talked about rewriting the rules, but St. Paul Youth Services, under the direction of Dr. Ansbury, is doing it. I wish when I was the director for Children and Family Services in St. Cloud for 20-some years that St. Paul Youth Services would have been available as a resource, because they are a resource. They're a resource for law enforcement. They're a resource for social service agencies. They're a resource for schools. They're a resource for our businesses. And when I say resources, I'm not talking about Dr. Ansbury. I'm talking about the youth. The youth are the ones that drive this program. They are the experts, not the other way around, not the agency saying, you know, come to us. We've got this formula. And if you follow the formula, you'll be okay. The kids, the youth have the formula, you know, and each of their formulas are different. Agencies have touted themselves on being so effective in helping youth. We've got the formula, and if our youth follow the formula and they're accountable to it, they'll be fine. And what I've experienced with St. Paul Youth Services is that they place the youth as the conductor of their life. And their role and what supports them in their growth. So they get to choose the music. with their own notes, with its own beat, with its own octave, with its own instrument, and with its own dance. We learned about that tonight from Elias, and I can't wait to see that video, Elias. St. Paul Youth Services is truly living out its mission. And again, my experience has been is that, and I've been a part of that process also. It's always really important to have your website and all of your information look really nice and be, really well put together in wording, but you have to experience it. And having youth be on the panel tonight, having youth be our focus is just a sliver of what St. Paul Youth Services is about. Without the youth, there's no St. Paul Youth Services. And I'm just really, really proud to say that, after I've had many, many, many years in the nonprofit world that I now am a part of St. Paul Youth Services. I'm really humble and grateful for that opportunity. So I know what it takes firsthand to support a nonprofit, and St. Paul Youth Services, is a lion, but it's small in stature.
Yeah.
It does a lot. It does a lot with a little. And most nonprofits, that's a motto, that's a goal, to be able to do as much as you can with the little that you have. And St. Paul Youth Services is no different, but St. Paul Youth Services in my 16 months that I've been on the board has shown me, under the direction of Dr. Ansberry, that they know how to make the most out of a little. And they put that in the hands of our young adults. And that's what it's about. So I want to ask you, are you serious about justice for Black youth? Then invest in the power to achieve it. Put it in the hands of our conductors.
Yes.
While we watch Freedom is Ours, it's the final video of the evening. Think seriously about your donation to St. Paul Youth Services. Thank you.
Hey, Tim, you hit my heart. I know in Black community, in Black culture, we don't really go by, sometimes we rap, what I mean? So Tim, as a white man, that really hit my heart, and I'm really motivated even more to be on this board. And you hit my heart really with there and your perspective on the work we're doing. I really appreciate it as a Black male to a white male of the work and that message you sent to the community. It's honest.
You're welcome. Appreciate
Have a good one.
From the heart.
Adults don't realize their profound impact. They try to tell me who I am. Clueless, disobedient, promiscuous, illiterate, aggressive, savage. They only see my hoodie, headphones, and a do-rag. The cradle to prison pipeline. It's a shame they're miseducated.
Never be limited by other people's limited imagination.
To be young, conscious, and Black.
It's to have a sense of identity, culture, and community.
It means dismantling and disrupting systems.
Rewriting the rules, knowing your rights, and reclaiming it.
When authority doesn't hear you. When authority doesn't see you. Understand it to transform it.
Every problem has an answer. Look deep enough to find the solutions that have always been there. You can learn who you really are and hold people accountable.
Because when we understand ourselves, we love ourselves.
And I will.
Improve the places and spaces that impact lives.
The quality of life.
I will be strategic and intentional with my decision making. A voice for social entrepreneurship.
I will tell my story.
I will tell my story.
I will tell
I
my
will
story.
tell my story.
And I will be free.
Free.
Free. Free.
That was awesome. So we want to thank you so much on behalf of the St. Paul Youth Services Board of Directors. And thank you so very much for joining the movement. The movement. Also, I have a bunch of, I feel like this is the Academy Awards, and I have to thank people. And I don't want to miss anybody. So I'm going to definitely read this so I don't miss anyone. We have been excited for this night. You guys have not, a lot of planning, a lot of dreaming about this night. And we are thrilled that each of you has shared this hour with us. Thank you so very much. We also want to express our heartfelt gratitude to our Black youth leaders who spoke to us tonight with so much power and authenticity, and they spoke loud and proud, and they are so connected to this organization, both emotionally and mentally, and they're going to go on and do some great stuff. So I am so proud of y'all and y'all voices, and y'all almost made me cry, but I held it together. I held it together. Want to thank you guys, because this was for you and about you, and we couldn't have been successful without you. So thank you. Dr. Asbury, right? The executive director, which I like to call visionary, who is my hero, because I'm just so excited. But I have a script. Okay. So I want to thank you for continually pushing us to reimagine the rules of youth engagement and working just as hard to recruit individuals and funding to find it. This work couldn't go on without money, and people, and you find it under every rock, every tree. You be finding it, and we appreciate you so much on the board. And I want to thank Tracy's amazing staff. She brags on y'all all the time. One of our values is youth work is skilled work, and you get it. And Tracy says all the time that you prove it day by day. Thank you, guys. Our long-term funders and our new funders, we, who have invested in and committed to this work, our early intervention work, when youth need not only a first chance, but a second, a third, and a fourth chance. You've seen that and you've invested in that, and we really appreciate that. Also, you're committed to the youth leadership and the youth social entrepreneur ventures. You heard some of that today. We want to say bravo, bravo, bravo. Thank you so much for that. Our individual donors who share our values, stay close to the work, and inspire others to join the movement. We value you. We really do. Our long-term partners who create the conditions and create the space for youth to show up as their best selves. We value you also, but stay amazing. You're so amazing. Stay amazing. And anyone here, I'm talking to you here today for this online fundraiser tonight. We see what St. Paul Youth Services is all about. We appreciate you taking your time. You could have used this hour for anything, and you took your time with us today. We are confident that if you're serious about justice for Black youth, and that you are in the right place and with the right organization, this is the time is now. So again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for joining us and the movement. And those who registered, look in your inbox. You're going to see a survey. We value your opinion. So please, 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 please send that in as soon as possible. So that's coming. And so I just want to say good night, stay safe, stay healthy, and donate to us, to St. Paul Youth Services. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.